Finally, we know everything about AMD's next GPU architecture RDNA 2 and their upcoming GPUs, the 6000 series. And now, before talking about the GPUs, here this is for the great team. Oh my god, these GPUs are so great. These are earth-shattering, water-shattering, sky-shattering. AMD just risen from the dark and they are here to change the industry. Oh my god, these GPUs are so great. Nvidia will go bankrupt. Oh my god, these GPUs are so great. This for the green team. those they call GPU. We used to play like with those when we are kids. Those even considered as GPU in our community. They thought that's a AMD is a competition for Nvidia. We don't even consider them as a company. And talking about comparison, oh my god. So I think both parties are happy. Let's start the video. Before talking about the GPU and the performance, let's talk about some other stuff. Starting with the Infinity Cache. Everybody was thinking that what would AMD do to compensate that lower bandwidth? Well, Infinity Cache, although they haven't talked a lot about Infinity Cache and also I haven't looked it up a lot. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk detail about Infinity Cache and what it is and how it works. I will make a different video for that, so definitely subscribe my channel for that. Second is the Smart Access Memory. It is the way that you can, or after enabling it in the BIOS, you will get more performance in your or with your RDNA 2 GPUs. And now here's the catch: you can only do this or only enable Smart Access Memory if you have a Ryzen 5000 series CPU with a 500 series motherboard. You cannot do it with a Ryzen 3000 series CPU, and even if you have a 5000 series CPU, you have to have a 500 series motherboard. You cannot do it in the 400 series motherboard. Now the next thing is the Rage mode. Rage mode is kind of another step of in AMD's auto overclocking. They used to have a auto overclocking feature, and now this is another one. This will be much more aggressive depending on your cooling situation and the power consumption of your GPU. It will much more aggressively overclock your GPU. Honestly, I think that you don't even need to manually overclock GPUs these days. Like, overclocking is always been enthusiastic, but it was slowly becoming mainstream. But I right now think that AMD is launching so many softwares to the CPU to auto overclock, now GPUs, then Nvidia has a GPU Boost 3.0. I don't think that you should manually overclock, or if you don't know what you are doing, just don't manually overclock, and if you know, well, then do it, man. It's a bunch of. And before talking about those GPUs, here's a disclaimer: never, and by never I mean never, trust first party benchmark numbers. Never trust any slide that any company is showing on the press event or the launching event, whatever that is. They will do anything to make their product look good compared to their competition, and it doesn't matter which company it is, no matter it's AMD, no matter it's Intel, no matter it's Nvidia. This is a simple thing called marketing, and all these big companies have team to do their marketing, so they know what they are doing, and also they know if they tell you a totally wrong thing, then it's gonna be bad for them. So they tell you the truth, but there are some catch to the truth, and which also I'm gonna talk about later in this video, because even being sneaky in the launch. Now let's talk about the first GPU, which is the GPU that I am most impressed, and I am if I'm gonna get a AMD's GPU, that would be the GPU. But as I've told in a bunch of my videos previously, that I have to stick with Nvidia because of their CUDA cores, because I use Premiere. Yeah, until AMD's metal optimization get good in Premiere, I have to stick with Nvidia. But now let's talk about these GPUs. Well, as per AMD's slides, the RX 6800 XT is very competitive to the 3080. Yes, it is not a 3080 killer. It was never meant to be. I have said in a bunch of my previous videos, it is never going to kill the 3080, it is meant to give the 3080 a tougher competition and to have option and variety in the market. And honestly, it just totally lived up to that. It's a great performer no matter what game it is. It's in bunch of games it is better than 3080. In some games it is similar to the 3080, and in some other it is a marginally lesser performer. And why I said marginally, because I said in one of my videos 120 130, there's that's a double digit difference. But are you going to notice that double digit difference? Probably no, until and unless the 1% frame rates are not that great comparing 120 and 130. And at the same time, a company's never gonna share 1% frame rate result. They just never gonna do that. So wait for third-party reviews. And even if third-party reviews came out, watch more than one third-party review to fulfill your criteria. And I will make a video when all the reviews come out about which review you should watch depending on your criteria. Now the price of the the 6800 XT is $649 and it is $50 cheaper than the 3080. Honestly, it's a bargain because for more $50 you can get a AIB card, and who knows, some I think Sapphire does a crazy overclock if AIB card for AMD. They always have been doing that. Asus has always the Strix lineup, but they will be a little bit expensive, but you have a $50 headroom to match the Founders Edition price of 3080. And now if you go to the AIB card of 3080, if you compare that, then you have much more like $50 to $100 to work with. So I think in that scenario I totally can see that the 6800 XT is a much, or at least a comparable option. And if you are willing to buy a new PC, then probably you are going to choose AMD's platform after the 5000 series come out, because before, if you are gonna do purely gaming, then most of us suggested that go with Intel. But if AMD keeps the promise what they showed as the world fastest gaming CPU, well then why should you even go and buy a Intel CPU? Honestly, the driver situation has been much more better, at least in the CPU side when it comes to AMD. So yeah, I think if you get a 5000 series CPU, obviously will pair with a 500 series motherboard, then I think pairing that 5000 CPU and the RDNA 2 or the 6800 XT GPU together and enabling the smart access memory and, oh my god, that's a lot of word, rage mode, you can get better performance, 10 to 12% better performance than the 3080, because on the event AMD haven't showed the smart access performance, at least for the 6800 XT. Now on to the next card, the 6800, which is, I am little disappointed because of the pricing. It cost $579, which is $80 more than Nvidia's offering or the 3070, although the card is not out, or I think by the time I'm making this video it has been released. Good luck getting your hands onto it. But because AMD can't get their hands on a 3070, they compared it with a 2080 Ti, and as the reviews have shown, the 3070 is very similar to the 2080 Ti. And on that slide, if you look down, there is a thing, or there is a qualifier named smart access memory. So by enabling smart access memory, it is beating the 2080 Ti or its equivalent, the 3070, and it's giving it a significantly much more performance. But again, it's with smart access memory, so then the whole thing comes out. If you are not upgrading the whole platform, then how this gonna perform? Then is it gonna be a good option to go over the 3070? Now some of the people gonna come talk that, oh, it has more VRAM, but again, well, honestly, probably if you're getting a 3070, you will play 1440p games, and generally not a lot of games go over 8 gigabytes. Some games are, I think probably the 10 gigabytes is slowly gonna be the sweet spot of high-end gaming, but I think 8 gigabytes it's fine for now. Yes, you have a 16 gigabytes option if you go to the AMD route, but again, we don't know how the performance is without the smart access memory, so that has to seen. And now the last GPU, which cost $999, and it's set to disrupt the 3090, but no, it's not. The first reason is 3090 has much more VRAM, faster VRAM, and the benchmark slides that AMD showed, it is not only with the smart access memory but also with the rage mode turned on. So that means you can expect the numbers get 10 to 12% lesser or even more, although I don't know. This is a purely based on my assumption, so as I said, wait for the third-party reviews. But again, I don't want to talk about that GPU because it's a simple thing. $1,000 GPU is way out of league for most of you, so it's meant for enthusiasts, meant for ballers, and I don't think that like I can get that GPU, so why should I even talk about? But if anybody wants that, are you in the viewers, if you are able to get that GPU, well then it's a good option at a cheaper price. Like if you compare to, and like if you are gonna purely game and you're gonna get like if you like honestly, if you are buying $1,000 GPU, I think you are also gonna be like upgrading to a new platform, the 5000 series CPUs with new motherboards. So I get that GPU. It's after enabling smart access memory and rage mode, it's really looks good in gaming compared to the 3090. So yeah, if you have the money, go for it. Now another big question is that does these GPUs gonna support ray tracing? Yes, these GPUs gonna support hardware ray tracing with Microsoft DXR 12 RT. I think I forget what the API was, but yeah, here would be the name. So with that, you will get hardware accelerated ray tracing, but they haven't showed anything about like how the ray tracing how in ray tracing scenario these cards gonna perform, and how they are implementing ray tracing, because Nvidia's implementation is much more different. It's gonna be much more different for both of the companies, so it's really interesting to see what both of the companies bring when it comes to the ray tracing, because I think this is the future of gaming. Now honestly, that was it for today's video. That was mostly all of the things that you need to know about these GPUs, and more will be coming after the reviews come out. So don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't, leave it a dislike, but remember, it hurts, and especially you don't want to dislike, because when I'm recording this video, it's my birthday. Remember that. And if you want to watch more videos from us, check out this video right here. And if you want to subscribe, which I appreciate if you do that, well, do it by here. And there's Akash, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.